We officially have one of the worst movies of the entire year to watch with your parents, but it also happens to be the best horror movie of the year. I just watched Nosferatu, so here's my spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the movie. First of all, we need to give Lily Rose Depp so much credit for her performance in this movie. Both the emotional and physical acting of this performance was absolutely incredible, and it's honestly become one of my favorites of the entire year. And it's kind of crazy because Anya Taylor-Joy was actually given the role of Ellen, who Lily Rose Depp plays, and she was going to star in this movie, but because the movie was delayed and put off for so many years, she ended up leaving it for other projects. And even though I was so excited for this movie with Lily Rose Depp, I think if you asked me or anybody else on the planet who they'd rather have in this movie, everybody probably would have said Anya Taylor-Joy, honestly, because fair enough, she's a great actress. But I am genuinely so glad that the role ended up with Lily Rose Depp instead, because this was legitimately a breakout role that should be a star-making performance for her. She was so incredible in this, and like I said, the physical acting that she's doing too is insane. She's not the only one. Obviously, Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok himself. This is one of the most transformative performances I've seen all year. Obviously, the physical transformation, like you cannot recognize that it's Bill Skarsgård whatsoever, is just absolutely crazy. But also the work he put into changing his voice for this and how the voice sounds in this movie, especially when you're hearing it earlier on, like through Ellen's head, is absolutely haunting. Like, I'm not exaggerating, Bill Skarsgård is unrecognizable. If they didn't announce that he was playing Count Orlok in this movie, nobody would ever be able to guess it was him. I won't reveal what he looks like since obviously they've been hiding that in all the marketing of the film, but it is a huge reveal in the movie. I'm not gonna lie, when they first showed it, I was like, oh, this is kind of a little underwhelming, but the more I think about it, the more it really just fit in with the vibe of the movie, and the performance really is just incredible. And Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe, they're all incredible too, but there is one performance that really sticks out in a bad way that I gotta talk about, and that is Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Listen, I like him as an actor, but between Craven and this, it is getting hard to defend him because this is a really bad stretch of performances from him. In Craven, I kind of tracked up to the script just being that bad, and I was like, this probably isn't his fault. But in Nosferatu, I have no idea what this guy's doing. The accent he's trying to do sounds so incredibly goofy. It feels like a really classic case of overacting. Like, the movie's incredibly overdramatic anyways, but I feel like everybody else is matching each other's levels, and then Aaron Taylor-Johnson just in here feeling like he's from a completely different movie, and it was kind of taking me out of the scene when he was up on screen, and he's a pretty major part of the movie. Like, he's in it a lot. I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this one, but it felt like he was doing like a caricature more than like an actual performance in this. It felt like I was watching like a bad college or high school play or something when he was on screen. Let's get back to some positives, because on a visual level, this movie is absolutely insane across the board. Robert Eggers' movies obviously already have a very distinct style with like The Lighthouse, The Witch, and The Northman, but this feels like you can truly see the evolution of him as a director and a visionary, and it just feels like all those movies before were so instrumental in finally like making this come to fruition. Because he's been working on this movie his entire career, and you can definitely see elements from all his past films in the visuals of this one. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But it's not just the cinematography that's amazing in this film. Like, yeah, the shots do look incredible, but also just the atmosphere that's built up with the different set designs and the costumes in this film. It really just transports you back into this different place and time. Like, there are multiple moments in this movie that are literally just breathtaking to look at, and I cannot wait till this movie comes out in digital to just rewatch certain moments over and over again, because they were just that stunning to look at. Now, at the very beginning, I said this would be one of the worst movies of the year to watch with your parents. So let me explain myself, because I think everybody knows that vampire stories on some level are going to have some level of romance and sexiness to the film, unless you're talking about like Morbius. But this movie has some absolutely wild, out-of-pocket, freaky moments that if you're watching with like your family or something, there are going to be some weird looks coming your way being like, why did you bring us to the theater to watch this thing? Not really a positive or negative for me, because I absolutely love the movie anyways. I will say I don't think it's particularly scary. There are a few jump scares, probably less than like 5 or 6 the entire movie, and I'll say like 1 or 2 are really effective jump scares. The other ones I could kind of see coming. If you're weak for horror kind of things, I think you'll be fine, but there are some very gory moments, lots of things with blood spewing all over the place, but I feel like you have enough warning every time they're about to come up so that you know if you want to look away for those moments, you'll be fine. Like, if you've seen Robert Eggers' other movie, The Northman, and you know what the violence is like in that movie, it's pretty similar in this movie. If you were comfortable with that, you'll probably be fine with this, or even if you've seen something like The Boys, you'll be fine. I think that's what makes this movie and Robert Eggers in general films work so well. It doesn't rely on the jump scares, even though they are a part of this film. It focuses so much on just building up this atmosphere and focusing on the characters in the story, and it just pulls you in. I was super memorized by the end of this movie. And this is kind of a nitpicky point, and I'm not even going to put it in the worst parts because it didn't really ruin the movie for me, and it's not something that's bad. It's just something I think could have been done a little bit better. I think the musical score and the sound design was just a little bit weaker than in Eggers' previous movies, because in his previous films like The Witch and The Northman and The Lighthouse, the sound is so distinct and unique that it feels like its own character in the movie. Like I said, there's definitely some moments of great sound design in this movie, like Count Orlok's voice and the effect that has is incredible, and there are some really good pieces of the musical score. I just felt like they both could have been a little bit better in comparison to his other work. Before I give my rating in the movie, I want to quickly give you what my ranking of his films would be. In last place, I'd go with The Witch. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is incredible in it. Like I said, the atmosphere he builds up in the movie is incredible. I just wasn't that attached to the story and found myself bored at times. Then we have The Lighthouse, which I think is incredible, like a 9 out of 10. Just incredibly wacky, oddly hilarious, and scary at times, just really great. Nosferatu, I'm also giving a 9 out of 10. You obviously know everything I think about this film because I just talked about it. And The Northman, I have at a 10 out of 10. I'm a sucker for anything fantasy. That's my number one. Like I said, 9 out of 10 for me. Probably going to finish easily in my top 5 films of the entire year. Really loved it. If you've seen the movie, let me know you're waiting for it down below in the comments. And click the playlist that's above me on screen right now to check out my other movie reviews for recent films like Mufasa, Sonic 3, Gladiator, Wicked, Heretic. So many recent releases are all in there.